Thank you very much for staying with us and welcome back. Now, some officials of the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service are currently sitting or appearing before the Parliamentary Account Committee, PAC, sitting in Parliament today, answering questions pertaining to some activities, financial activities of the ministry. And we want to take you back to Parliament for more on the proceedings.
And 52,000, there are two different payments from two different facilities.
I think the 53 is correct. Yeah. That's the Huawei one, is correct. So that's Huawei. The 53 is the 53 is Tamale one. Sorry, is Tamale. No, in the schedule that they submitted. No. Look at page 3 of the letter they brought. Page 3. I said look at page 3 of the letter they brought. The second table. Northern Region 2014. The amount there is 53,946.15. That is what they paid.
Chairman, point of order. But if the letter has been Honorable Mafo, if the letter has been withdrawn,
it's not everything in the letter that is withdrawn.
We can't be making references to a document that has been withdrawn.
But that should agree definitely with the computation. No. Director General, we haven't finished. We are now at the leadership. So I will take the final bite. Your appendices, Appendix D. Appendix D. No. I'll say what I want to make something. The letter from Big Al-Hassan Mat. Big Al-Hassan Mat. The payment of commission. The amount is no, sorry, not that one. The next one, which is the no, the Big Al-Hassan, sorry. The Big Al-Hassan, the amounts, there's amounts at the back of that letter. I have Love is the key enterprise. Love is the key enterprise. The receipt there, the amount is 1,764. That is the commission. Why haven't you withhold 5% withholding tax, as you did apply in other cases? This one should go to the Director of Finance.
Director of Finance.
This one, you have not withhold the 5%. In other cases, you withheld 5% withholding tax, but this one, no. Why?
It's from Tamale, so I'll go back and check and then get the information on that.
You go back and check. When are you coming back?
I'll make sure that they take it. I'll make sure that because
giving the money away.
after checking, we'll go back and I'll make sure that they take it. They go back and do it.
Clerk, take note of that. My last one, maybe. Director General, do auctioneers themselves also participate in the auction?
I will defer this to the Director House.
Do they participate in the auction, the auctioneers themselves?
Honorable Chairman, I believe that they can, but they cannot take more than one. I am saying that I believe. I haven't followed the auction personally before, so I do not really know. But I'm saying that I believe that they can take only one if they so wish, as Ghanaians when they are conducting the auction.
Is it per auction? Per auction. So assuming that I'm the auctioneer and I did the first auction, the first lot, and I benefited one. After 2-3 months, another auction, can I benefit again one? And if there are a series of auctions in a year, don't you think that I'll end up getting more than one in a year or whatever?
Honorable Chairman, I think the Honorable House can come out with how we should go about this. Because I do agree with the issue you are raising, that somebody could conduct an auction in one ministry and then in another and in another. So maybe this Honorable House could come up with rules and guide to check this thing. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Because I saw two auctioneers who also bought some of the vehicles. That is why I'm asking that question.
They can let people front for them.
Honorable members, we've come to the end of our discussion. There are outstanding items or issues to handle. The Ghana Health Service will bring back a new response that will guide the committee in finalizing our reports. And then also, Ghana Health Service should immediately the auctioneer is available, inform us so that we can invite the auctioneer to appear before the committee to respond to those issues bordering on auctioneer. Here we are talking about the shelter mat. That is the auctioneer involved here. And then also you want to share with the committee that policy of the Ministry of Health or Ghana Health Service on transport, the transport policy of the Ministry or the Ghana Health Service. So, honorable members, we have come to the end, and I want to use the opportunity to thank our witnesses for appearing before the committee and providing the information to the members of the committee. I also want to thank members. Yes, the one other item is the bank statements from Hohwe and then from the accounts at Tamale, from which the checks were issued to the NTRA. We want those evidence for the committee. And I thank honorable members for taking part in this hearing. I also thank the GIZ for supporting Parliament and the public hearing, and for that matter, the Public Accounts Committee. We thank the Auditor General for being part of us during this hearing. We thank the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation or Ghana Television for carrying this live, and other media houses that are here carrying the hearing live. We also thank the staff of Parliament, the Secretariat of the Public Accounts Committee, and other staff of Parliament that are making everything possible. And finally, we thank the general public for listening to us and watching us as we go through the hearing. We thank you very much. The meeting is accordingly adjourned. You are discharged. You are discharged.
And that was a live transmission from Parliament, where some officials of the Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service have been answering questions by members of the Parliamentary Accounts Committee on certain financial activities pertaining to the ministry. You're still the marketplace. Moving on, the Association of Ghana Industries, AGI, is demanding government pays the tax rebates owed its members. This is coming after Parliament's approval of relevant provisions in the 2017 budget. The Finance Ministry last month directed some industry players to submit to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority their claims for refund of the applicable taxes. Speaking with Joy Business, Chief Executive Officer of the AGI, Seth Chuma Kwabwa, said though some progress has been made in negotiations with government, the process must be expedited.
The idea of blocking the leakages, we support it, because we think that if you don't block the leakages, government will need the revenue and will find other means of generating that revenue, and that could probably mean increasing taxes or introducing new taxes. And therefore, whatever it is to block leakages from the system, leakages are those who do not deserve a particular exemption, but then they take advantage of it, they abuse the system, and then rather go with it. And then the companies that should actually be granted exemptions are not granted, and then we all suffer. So in principle, we accept it. I think that the problem has been the policy and its implementation. Policy-wise, it is good, but the implementation, there have been challenges.
Yeah,
and it's the reason why we organized this seminar.
It has to do with the ECOWAS, and then coming together with the ECOWAS Commission.
The ECOWAS Commission is just one of the issues. There were several other issues. ECOWAS bit is just a small bit. The whole principle is that the exemption idea is that when you are asked to pay duty, even if you are going to be exempted, pay it upfront, pay a provisional one, and quickly reorganize to get exemption. This way, those who do not deserve it wouldn't be able to get it, and therefore they wouldn't actually even apply in the first place. That's why he said, as government, they are also making good returns in terms of revenue. So that is, in principle, good. But what we're saying is that for companies that genuinely deserve the exemptions, whatever it will take to facilitate that process, do it. Because we don't want companies to suffer unduly as a result of a tax policy or a new policy that you have brought up.
Now, the Ghana Statistical Service on Wednesday recorded an increase in the country's economic growth rate by 1.1%, arriving at a new GDP figure of 4.1% for the fourth quarter of 2016. In what was said to be provisional results released by the service, the services sector led with the highest figure of 6.3%. Meanwhile, the per capita income for 2016 increased to 5 Ghana cedis 91 pesos. That is the figure to be received if the country's total wealth is shared among the 28.3 million Ghanaians. Acting government statistician Ban Wadie highlighted these during the release of the economic data for 2016.
In constant terms, the fourth quarter 2016 GDP was estimated at 10,018.5 million Ghana cedis. For the fourth quarter 2015, the corresponding value was 9,620.3 million Ghana cedis. The year-on-year quarterly GDP growth rate for the fourth quarter of 2016 was 4.1%, compared to 3.9% recorded for the fourth quarter of 2015. The quarter-on-quarter GDP growth rate seasonally adjusted for the fourth quarter of 2016 was 1.1%, and the same rate was recorded for the third quarter of 2016. Now, the provisional annual GDP estimate for 2016 at current prices is 167315.5 million Ghana cedis. The corresponding per capita GDP for 2016 is 5,910. GDP per capita is, assuming we should share the total GDP equally for the 28.3 million Ghanaians. Each person will get an amount of 5,910 Ghana cedis.
Take your share.
The 2016 provisional annual GDP at constant prices is estimated at 36,015.7 million Ghana cedis. And the provisional annual growth rate for 2016 is 3.5%.
All right, so we'll try to put these figures into perspective by talking to an economist when we get him on the line for some analysis on that. But moving on, change the approach of teaching entrepreneurship in tertiary institutions to necessitate the drive for addressing unemployment. That's according to the president of the Christian Service University College, Professor Sam Afrani. He's calling for a change in the teaching modules of entrepreneurship in tertiary institutions.
Growing graduate unemployment, which has become a canker in the Ghanaian society, has compelled many tertiary institutions to teach entrepreneurship. But many fear teaching entrepreneurship could be losing its spark because the modules for teaching are too theoretical. President of the Christian Service University College, Professor Sam Afrani, tells Loud Business the approach to teaching entrepreneurship programs in schools must be practical.
Because even though there's a lot of talk, we are not seeing results. And I think the problem is the way the entrepreneurship is taught. If it is taught in a classroom setting, students write exams and they pass, then the results will be the same. But when it is approached by resource persons who are already entrepreneurs, people who already have the experience, if they come to make presentations, students, and it's more interactive, and also they move to outside the classroom to go and see what others has done. We bring case studies to them. Then the students would come more closer to reality, and then we begin to see the results. I think it's the approach. The traditional approach must change to more participatory and more engaging approach of entrepreneurship training that will give us the expected results.
He spoke at the maiden edition of the school's career fair, where students engage with industry players and entrepreneurs. Some of the participating students were enthused about applying their knowledge acquired to start up businesses.
It's not all about what you are learning. We don't hear them. You add up a little step to what you are being trained in school so that you can do much and even get the opportunities out there.
All of that about certification. Also have the ability to be able to do something with your hands.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of Magdan Group, Dr. Daniel Macaulay, suggests a complete overhaul of the Ghanaian education system to be tailored towards artisanship.
Well, for me, if you look at some of the courses we offer, it's a waste of time. I sat in my office and I received over 100 applications. I look at sociology students, different kind of archaeology student looking for business in the shipping company, in the banking industry. It doesn't jive. No, we have to look at, I mean, he's doing very well in school, but you realize that he's in the wrong profession. I mean, look at the Polytechnic. Polytechnic is more or less dying down. It's becoming a second choice school. We shouldn't be. That's supposed to be main. We need to train more artisans. I can tell you that artisans make more money than the doctors in the hospital and the lawyers in the law courts. But why do our children, they don't want to go into artisanship? So for me, we have to look at our career guidance level again and see the direction.
Prince Apia reporting.
Accra, the organizer, the automobile industry is rapidly changing, and that means auto mechanics have to keep themselves abreast of new technologies to remain profitable in their business. Now, that is what perhaps distinguishes Francis Amezo from his peers. He owns Mayfran Automobile Limited, and in a repeat of the Joy business van, the van heads to his workshop to get some insight into auto repair businesses.
Junior, how far with this job?
Growing up, Francis Amejo was curious about the technology behind car manufacturing. That's why he pursued an HND in automotive engineering at the Accra Polytechnic. He was determined to start his own business, so soon after national service, Francis started Mayfran. He knew his decision to become an auto mechanic would raise eyebrows because everyone around him expected him to become a white-collar worker.
I knew that was not going to put food on the table for me, because people who I graduates who I knew was in that had that mind, and they were pursuing that. At the end of the day, they were not able to own their own companies and do their own jobs. So I didn't let that one, deter me from pursuing what I wanted to do.
But Francis knew what would make him unique from other auto mechanics would be his ability to understand the rapidly changing technology in the automobile industry.
Now what matters is I'm going to work on lasers. So I go to the laser session, I select my lasers, and then I try to go and pick the system. So right now the machine is trying to select, so you could see the machine has selected and it has captured the car that I have connected the machine to.
Francis's ability to use modern technology to diagnose faulty vehicles is perhaps what has made him popular. Most mechanics in the country lack this technology, and those who have this technology are not able to effectively utilize it. That has contributed to the increase in his client base. So you've been in the business for 2 years. How would you describe the industry here in Ghana?
Oh, it's challenging, but if you are determined, you will sail through.
Challenging in what sense?
Both, financially, if you don't have a strong financial capital to put, because this sort of business, it takes a lot of money. It takes a lot of money, because day in, day out, because the type of cars you see we do here too, they are technological cars, and you just can't be using hammer and just anything on it. And the softwares we buy for the cars are very expensive.
Despite these challenges, Francis's key to sustaining his business is diligence.
How far? Okay. I've checked on the system already. I think this car is passed out. So all you have to only do is make sure you check the fluid levels, make sure there's no leakages, make sure all fluid levels are up to the right level, and then you check the hoses, cover the engine up, send it to the washing bay for the washing guy to pick up the car. Always my hands are on the deck with my boys, and I make sure that we follow whatever necessary safety precautions we need to do on a car for the car to run well for the customers. So I'm always on the job, supervising here and there. I start work, I don't close, I'm on the job, and we pay full attention to customers' car, just to oversee that there is no problems that are caused to the cars that comes into the workshop.
Francis currently has 15 workers, and he's quite satisfied. He's been able to create jobs for others. He's looking to expand his business already. His services are sought after in other parts of the country. He's not regretted becoming an auto mechanic and a business owner for that matter.
What guides me is I have to love what I'm doing, irrespective of the challenges that comes with it. I love it, so I see that any challenge that comes with it is a hazard of the occupation I've taken. And I know it cuts across every occupation that you find yourself in. Once you accept the challenges, you go by it.
It seems a spark has been ignited in Francis, and that's because he followed his true calling.